and change. Now, the principle of exercise, it's something we're very familiar with in the physical realm, but it's revolutionary when you take it to the spiritual realm. And that is, how do you get into physical shape? You exercise. You use your muscles. You use your heart. You use it. The more you use it, the more strong and healthy they become. So how do you become spiritually fit or spiritually strong? You exercise your spiritual muscles. The more you exercise your faith, the more faith grows. The more you exercise forgiveness, the more forgiveness grows. The more you exercise worship, worship grows. Something so simple, yet something so radical. If you don't exercise these things, they shrink. If you don't, God made the body, that if you don't use something, it gets less. It gets weaker. And that's true in the spiritual. If you don't exercise the things of the Spirit in your life, they get weaker. But here's another very important key. Exercise, generally, well, there's different kinds, but this is one of the most key, one of the most basic kinds, involves resistance. You must flex your muscle against something. You must move against something that is hard to move, or something, the more powerful you want to become physically, the more resistance you need in the exercise. Therefore, if you want to grow spiritually strong, you have to involve yourself with resistance. What is resistance? Resistance is whatever blocks your way, whatever resists your way, whatever is hard to do, hard to move, hard to lift, hard to press. Like, what's hard? Well, for instance, problems are. Problems are resistance. Trouble is resistance. Challenges are resistance. Obstacles are resistance. Things not going your way is resistance. That traffic jam is a resistance. Trials, when people are coming against you, that's resistance. Testing in the Lord is resistance. Difficulties, hardship. When things, we want things to go our way all the time, but it's when things don't go our way, that's when we have resistance to grow stronger. The things that are hard to do are what gives you strength in the end. The very things we complain about are the very things we try to avoid, very things that make us stronger in God if we apply it. One of the reasons many Americans are out of shape is because they try to avoid any kind of strenuous anything. Any heavy labor, anything. We need labor saving all the time. We have all these all these time-saving devices, and we have no time. How did that happen? We should have all the time in the world. We got no time. We got a car at one point, and the light didn't turn on automatically. When it gets dark, it turns on, And it was like, wow, how could this not have this? We never had that before. But now you get used to not doing anything at all. We have GPS, so we don't even have to think anymore. But if you don't think, Mike, what happens to your brain? Many Americans are out of shape because they're trying not to have any resistance, any kind of labor. And so they end up being fat and weak and flabby and unhealthy. In the spiritual realm, think about it. If we seek to avoid resistance or problems, challenges, you want life to be smooth, everything to be smooth, you'll get weak in the Lord. We think the most successful life is a problem-free life. That's not so. Paul didn't have that, and he was successful. That's the very life that keeps us weak and flabby and unhealthy in the spirit. The very resistance you have in your life is the very thing that will allow you to grow stronger, better, higher. If you didn't have problems, you'd have to seek to have problems, so you'd have something to give you resistance if you want to grow strong. When you've got problems, instead of seeing it as a problem, say, this is my resistance training. These are my weights. I have to lift them with the muscles of the Spirit. They say no pain, no gain. Well, I don't know if it has to be that, but no resistance, yes. It says in the Bible, we persevere, and that brings us, as we do it, things grow in us. We get fruits of this. We get all these qualities by persevering in the Lord. It's a very thing. Sometimes the very things that happen against, even, God calls you for something, there's resistance that comes, and we think, well, the resistance is bad. But the resistance allows you to exercise God's presence in the situation. If you have hate around you, that's when you can exercise truly the love of God. And so you're actually given a chance to show that. And that, when you exercise, you're actually choosing to have resistance. It's not like you're actually choosing, I want this weight in my life. Why? So you can get stronger. And so that's the point here. It has to, one of the key things about exercise, it has to be regular, consistent. That means you have to, in your life, if you want to grow, you have to say also, listen, I don't want to just stay where I am. I want bigger challenges in the Lord. I want challenges. It's not about just avoiding challenges. I want challenges. That should be our attitude if you want to grow. That means, what does it mean to have challenges in your life? It means actually to choose, listen, here's a challenge that's going to stretch me more than I've ever been in the Lord. Or my challenge is I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend more time in the Word than I ever did before. I'm going to witness more. I'm going to share the Word more. I'm going to be more. That's the challenge. Take it up. If you want to grow stronger, you have to take on the challenges. And stop avoiding challenges, because that never will make you strong. And you have to say, my object in my life is not to avoid any discomfort. My object in my life is to do the will of God. And I'm actually going to look forward to dealing with challenges because they are for my good. And in them, I can grow and manifest the power of God. And so from here on in, I'm actually going to look forward to dealing with challenges. And if that's your attitude, you're going to have no problems in your life. Why? Because every problem is not going to be a problem. It's going to be a challenge for your own good. That's a whole different attitude, but what a better attitude. That's an attitude of advancing, not retreating. Because through whatever challenge I deal with, I will become stronger. It changes the way you deal with it. If it's just a problem, oh no, this one, and this was happening again, and this person's talking about me, and this thing, how about, no, this is my challenge. I just have to do the right thing. Lord, show me how to exercise my faith here. Show me how to have victory here. Show me how to exercise your love here. And when you get that done, then you can move to a higher level. But actually, do not fear challenges. Actually embrace challenges in the Lord for the joy of victory, for the growth God wants.